90s
Start
version?
it.
Wow. They're going to pick that up now. We're going to sound so unprofessional.
Start the damn thing.
You know what? Let's start over.
Let's start over. It's Mark's,
Just kidding.
It's Mark's episode.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of the Alter Ego Podcast. My name is Jack Austin. You guys look so disappointed.
It has no effect like this.
It really
I'm
doesn't.
Should
disgusted.
we start over?
Yeah.
Can we make it go faster?
No.
Make it go faster.
In post we could, but it would sound terrible.
I am Groot.
Wow. We did a take two and it sucked even harder.
Yeah, but you didn't take two because you didn't stop the recording and then restart it. It's been recording this whole time.
No, I know. That's the point.
One take, no editing.
Yeah.
One take, no editing.
Remember what Eminem used to say? One take, no mistakes, just keep it. Never mind.
Flowing.
How's everybody doing? Hi, Cyborg Mark.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ryan, who ran here from the depths of hell.
How's it going?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm not bad.
How you doing, beautiful?
Oh, I'm just...
Still talking to Ryan.
Oh.
Hey, baby, how are you?
I'm
Talking to me.
Still
Mark?
talking to me.
And
Seriously,
Megan.
though, how are you, Megan?
I'm great.
Good. Okay, moving on.
Next topic.
Welcome to PickTober, the Mark the Cyborg series.
I went third.
Yeah, you went third.
Went third.
Megan is going last, and
Been
she
a
has a bombshell. I
Pretty
love her.
two exciting first weeks.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Let's see if this
This is going to be a great week. I already know.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
why?
Why? Because we got news?
Oh, we got news.
Do we have sponsors?
We do have sponsors.
Do you have enough papers in your
I know.
hand?
I do, but I need to find where the sponsors are in these papers.
There you
They'll
go.
be so upset with me. You know what? Somebody who recorded after us messaged me one time. Was like, "Hey, bro, kill a tree much?" I felt so bad. That's why I haven't replaced them. This episode of Alter Ego Podcast is sponsored by Ford Supply Company, makers of all natural and organic soaps for men, with scents like tropical teakwood, citrus IPA, cypress pine, and many more. Try the pumpkin spice, which is called Carver as well. If it's still around, it's fantastic. Visit their website at FordSupply.com to order online and use promo code AlterEgo to get 10% off your order. Ford Supply. No real soap, no bullshit. I just meant to say no bullshit.
No real soap?
No real soap.
There's some real soap.
It's real
Yeah.
soap.
You know what else is real soap? Tony Anello, Southern Italian cuisine. You know what? I get tired of reading this mouthful. Can we just talk about Tony Anello's and how amazing they are?
Yes.
I'm in.
Ugh. We are going there with our children this weekend. I could not be any happier.
So excited.
Put Italian food in
I
front
will
of you,
say-
you really perk up.
He messaged me yesterday and was like, I haven't seen you in so long. I was
You're
like,
like,
I'm
well, we
coming.
actually have
I'm
plans.
this weekend, buddy.
Who
But-
is this?
Noah.
It's
Noah.
actually
okay.
funny because like we always go there for like special occasions, usually for birthdays and anniversaries and stuff. But we and of course regularly, or for random things, for random days and random meals. But since we've been doing the podcast, I feel like we've been going there a lot more, and that makes me really happy.
Hey. We're trying to build that relationship.
We burn off the carbs in this hot podcast studio.
Yep, that's right.
So
we
we've
go-
earned
That's
it.
right.
Pasta.
Yes. I'm waiting for the day where I'm disappointed in something I get from there. I'll actually be really super happy. But like, yes, it's not
They have
perfect.
a flaw.
Ha! There is something wrong with this place. We're all supposed to go on our big triple date too
I know.
to go
Soon,
there.
I think.
So we should just get the ladies on that and tell us when we need to be there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are
And
you putting
also-
me in charge of that, being that I'm the only lady?
You are
there?
the lady wrangler.
I could speak to my ex-work wife too, which is your wife.
Yep.
She would be happy to accommodate. I'm sure she likes Italian, right?
Yes, she does.
I don't need to ask if Mark likes it. I know
it's
he
her
does.
go-to hangover food.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to talk about something else before we get into news and announcements. Something we're doing with movies, films, and flicks. No,
Yeah,
nothing.
With a
horror
CKS
thing.
or an X?
The
They're
horror
the
thing.
ones who joined us for the Fantastic Four / Sharknado episode or whatever. What was it? Shark in Venice. And they
other
did
Mark.
a horror movie tournament.
Mhm.
And I can't remember the exact specifications for it right now, which I'll look up. But we had to pick.
It was by decade.
Yes, by decade we had to pick
And by percentages on Rotten Tomatoes.
percentages on Rotten Tomatoes. One of them had to be over 90%. One of them had to be a sequel or a foreign film. And they all had to average a certain amount. Like they couldn't all be 90. They had to have
It'd be like a
crap
70s
movies.
and 80s.
Yeah, here it is. And there were movies that you couldn't use. Okay, so here are the rules. Let me see.
This is a mouthful.
It is.
It's very
That's what
thorough.
she said.
Pick 5 horror movies. Check IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, or Wiki to see if it's labeled horror. Only one movie can have 90% or more. Only 2 movies can have scores between 80 and 90. You need to have at least 1 rotten movie, which is less than 60. And you need 1 sequel, remake, reboot, or foreign film. And pick your squad, and basically people go in and vote for it. And there were some movies that were not allowed to be on the list. For instance, in the 60s, Psycho, Night of the Living Dead. 70s, you couldn't pick Alien, Halloween, Dawn of the Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In the 80s, movies like The Thing, Nightmare on Elm Street, Predator, Evil Dead, all the obvious ones, right? You couldn't pick those. So we, as Alter Ego, came in, and by we, I mean me, because I panicked, and was like, we need movies. Here are my movies. And we picked a pretty decent squad.
Well, with all due respect, you messaged us, and none of us answered in time.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you
true.
picked up the slack on
I was
this
like,
team.
Guys, help. And nobody helped.
Not really a horror
Spoiler
guy.
alert.
Although
nobody helped.
Ghost Ship was
and
a good
I'm not
choice.
either, which is why I was worried, because I'm like, I don't know a lot of horror
love
movies.
Ghost Ship. I saw that on a cruise ship. It was great.
Wow,
So,
that's really
yeah.
poor timing.
So here's the Alter Ego squad, which we decimated in round 1. Like, we put whoever we faced in the dirt, which, everybody has great squads, but we decimated them on that one.
Suck
it was
it, losers.
Train to Busan,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the Korean zombie movie. That was a 94 on Rotten
I really
Tomatoes.
It's
wanna
in
see
my
that
queue,
movie. I
man.
hear
It's
awesome.
there.
Midsummer,
Mhm.
which was 83%,
Mhm.
which I have seen a lot about, and I had to take Predator off. Predator was originally on there, but I didn't understand the rules, and that Predator was on the list you can't put. But naturally, I picked Predator,
Of course.
which I replaced with Stephen King's Cujo,
Oh,
and then I put this old trash movie called I Spit on Your Grave.
I like
that
it.
movie
78.
is savage.
Yeah, and Ghost Ship, which rang in at 16% on Rotten.
That's okay. I love that movie.
So we run round 1, and right now, as you're listening to this, well, as we're recording this, we're ahead in round 2.
Vote for us.
Vote for Alter Ego, because this means nothing. We just want to rub it in everyone's face.
But he's also
We're better than
speaking to
you.
the folks in the room because I don't think either one of you voted.
I will.
Yeah.
That is cheating the system, and I will not be part of that.
Okay, bye.
Is it?
Is it that's all for Mark today, guys.
I got 7 IP addresses. We're winning.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I was torn between whether or not liking it as Alter Ego and liking it as myself. I didn't do that this time. I didn't cheat. I stayed humble.
But
No, I
I
didn't.
voted.
Who am I
and
kidding?
he voted. Does that count?
And you guys are going to vote before we even leave here.
He's going to show you where to find it.
But yeah, so before we get into Mark's pick, which, by the way, I love Mark's pick,
Same.
we've
Oh,
got
yeah.
some juicy McJuicy news to talk about.
Ooh.
That we're going to cruise
Are
through.
we ready?
Once again, I haven't been on the Facebooks, so this is all news to me.
Yeah. You let me know. Oh, here is our first movies, films, and flicks combat with 44 votes. The Alter Ego gang came in with 30 of the votes. Decimated. Great job. Great job, guys. We all worked hard for me to win this one.
You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay. So there's been a lot come out since we've last been with you folks, and I really can't wait to go over them. First one, and correct me if I've done something, said something that we've,
Okay, I
already
got
talked about. The Batman delayed to 2022.
We
Yeah,
did
we
talk
talked
about
about
that.
it.
That
I
was
hate
the
it.
last thing I think.
And
we
I think
talked
you're
about.
just trying to hurt me by bringing it up again.
I just looked right at you when I said it. Did we
I'll say
talk
it again
about
next
the
week just to
trailer
rub it in.
for Arch Enemy with Joe Manganiello?
Oh, what is that?
So this is a superhero-esque movie, but you don't really see powers in it. The premise, from what I gather from the trailer,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Manganiello is washed up and drunk, and he sounds like a crazy person saying he has powers from another planet.
So
right?
he's Hancock.
He's Hancock, only from outer space, but he has no powers.
Mm-hmm.
My powers are dwindling, being so far away from the other planet, blah, 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 blah. So he just seems like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And this kid takes an interest in him and believes him
Mm-hmm.
and wants to hear all his stories. And the kid lives in a terrible neighborhood. And naturally, there's some crime boss there who's oppressing the local people. Manganiello befriends the kid and then sees the kid get in trouble and then comes in and beats wholesale ass in the trailer, which I love Joe Manganiello in the first place. So as they talk about it, they show him trying to become a hero again, and
So it's like Superman versus Big Worm, pretty much.
Sure.
From Friday. You don't know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Big Worm.
Big purr.
But either way, it was good. It was good. Jonathan Frakes, who I love and adore, you all may know as Commando William Riker.
Oh, okay.
He is going to be directing another Star Trek movie. Very excited about. Are you excited about that? Are you excited?
Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I could tell you that it's Commander fucking Riker, and if there's going to be another, because the last one was done by J.J. Abrams, and I think if I trusted somebody with a Star Trek movie, it would be somebody like that, like Jonathan Frakes. I think he represents everything that I love about that franchise. Him and the Next Gen group.
Yeah, I'm a Next Gen guy, so.
Me too. 100%. I could sit and watch Next Generation all day long and it drove Megan crazy. Please, can we watch something else?
So has he done
that?
anything?
That's the one with Picard and Riker and Worf.
Dude, all day.
So has he done anything else directing-wise? Does he have any directing credits?
I do believe he has directing credits, and you know what? That, my friend, is why we have a Google song. You want to go ahead and hit it?
I don't know which button it is. Let's find out.
Let's go.
Nope.
Make some magic. You're way off.
Awesome.
You're way off.
Nope.
Nope. You're going further away from the truth.
Yep.
Hey, there it
Found
is.
the button.
Let's look up Jonathan Frakes, ladies and gentlemen. This Google search is brought to you by Tony Anello's Southern Italian Cuisine and Eatery. And that's all I got for that. We love them so much. Thank you for filling us with pasta and carbs that we really don't need, but we love you for it anyway. All right, Jonathan
And what did
Frakes.
you find?
Internet Movie Database. Let's go down here. Filmography. Director. See what he's got.
Star Trek.
He has 44 director's credits.
Oh, okay.
He's done some of The Librarians, NCIS Los Angeles. I'm trying to look for some movies here. Burn Notice. I do love Burn Notice.
Oh, Burn Notice.
When you're a spy.
Yeah. V? No, I thought I was about to say V for Vendetta. I will lose my mind. That's not the truth. That's not what he
V is
directed.
that TV show.
He directed
isn't it?
episodes of Next Generation while he was on the show.
Okay. That's all I need.
Dig it. He also directed some Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Insurrection, the movie he did.
Okay. We're good.
Let's do it.
We're good.
I'm in. All right. Good
Do you
for
think this will be in the Abrams verse, or is this going to be something completely different?
Something completely different.
You think that universe is
I
dead?
I don't think he wants. I'm thinking about me. If I was a director, would I want to jump into somebody else's world and play, or would I want to do my own thing?
Do your own thing, man.
Exactly. Especially with a franchise like Star Trek, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
You pick a ship, pick a crew, pick wherever you want them to go. You can do original Star Trek. I mean, granted, you're going to pull heavily from source material, but I still think there's a lot to do.
Yeah. Wow.
We had some very good friends who were telling us yesterday that Star Trek Discovery is the bomb, too.
I've heard that. I watched one episode and went, yeah, it's okay.
Okay. I'm going to check it out.
But you know
I've
what?
got
I
mixed
think it's worth
reviews.
more than one watch.
Yeah, I trusted my source that told me.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. It's one of those people. If you tell me it's good, okay, I'll give it
Was
a
it
shot.
Franks?
Was it who?
Was it Franks?
Who's Franks?
Oh, what? Whatever, man. Whoever we were just talking about. I just completely.
Jonathan Frakes?
Franks. I said Franks.
I was like, is he
my
talking hot
brain.
dogs?
Oh my god, I'm a little hungry. But yeah.
Speaking of hungry, the movie Fat Man came out with a trailer.
Yes.
I'm so excited for Fat Man. It's unreal.
I like how I sent you guys the trailer. You're like, we already posted that on the Facebook.
Yeah.
Come
You're
on,
like,
man.
I don't care.
I'm
Fat
just trying
Man-
to share something with the people.
I love it. I'm so happy you
still haven't
did.
seen
I'm
the
happy
trailer.
you're as excited for it as I am.
Oh, it looks great.
Mel Gibson is playing Santa Claus.
But
And
he's
the
like
premise of the movie
Yeah, he's
is that
badass.
he told a bratty, really, really rich kid that he was naughty and gave him a lump of coal. And this kid is so rotten, he hired somebody to come and try to kill Santa Claus.
Not just somebody.
Nice.
What's his name?
Walter
Probably threw in a
Goggins.
few racial
Yeah.
slurs, so the kid took it as a slight. You know,
Sure.
it's like you're gonna pay what you owe.
I'd love to see Mel Gibson whoop that kid's ass.
We're probably going to see that.
I
That's
would
got to
love
be
it.
the end of the movie.
Billy
Love
Bob
it.
Santa
Thornton.
Claus beating the shit out of a kid.
Yep. Yep.
I love everything about this. I don't like Mel Gibson all that much.
I
out.
love Mel Gibson. Okay,
He
as
was
an actor,
Braveheart.
as a director, I don't care about his personal stuff.
Yeah.
I don't condone it. I'm not like, hey man, he didn't do anything wrong. That's stupid.
All right,
Yeah.
sugar tits.
I can't think of a
Exactly.
Mel Gibson movie.
Did he say that to her?
Yeah, he called.
Yeah.
He said called her sugar
I
tits.
can't think of one that I love. I know you love that one Battlefield.
Braveheart.
Ooh, okay, you got me there.
One Battlefield. Were you talking about the Patriot?
No, Battlefield Earth or whatever.
He wasn't in Battlefield Earth.
What did he do?
That's John Travolta.
Shit.
Mel
Mark.
Gibson.
I'm having
wasn't
an
in
off
that.
day,
Art,
guys.
you're a
You are.
cyborg. You're supposed to be a computer.
I
Pull from
am-
your database.
I am all in on Guardians of the Galaxy, and I can't really think about anything else right
Well,
now.
there's your spoiler alert. There's our Picktober for today.
well, I
we
mean,
have
it's
a few.
in the title. There's not.
We have a few more trailers to get into.
Okay.
One that I'm really excited for.
What else can I
It
mess
was a
up?
movie series or a TV series a long time ago that I loved, and it is a Stephen King property.
Hmm?
It was a book that I have read as well that was very, very good. It's called The Stand.
Ah.
Came out with a new trailer and a new cast, and James Marsden is playing Stu Redman, the titular character.
I know nothing about The Stand. I've heard very good things about it.
So,
But James Marsden, I'm in.
Cliff's Notes version. And
Okay.
Peter Skarsgård, who's the one who played Tarzan?
I don't remember.
Who's in True Blood as well.
Okay.
What's his name? That
No
guy.
idea.
Not the one that played Pennywise.
I can't think. Not his brother.
Yeah.
Who's the better actor? Not his brother. Him. He's a better actor
I
than his
think
brother.
Peter played Pennywise.
But anyway, his brother is playing Randall Flagg. So in this book, there is a super flu that comes out, and it kills like 95% of the population.
Already too close to home.
I was gonna say.
Perfect time for it to come out. And there are survivors left over, and it's basically what it boils down to is the fate of all people, the God versus the devil. People start getting dreams and visions from two separate entities. One is, I think her name is Mother Abigail, and the other one is Randall Flagg. Randall Flagg represents the devil. Mother Abigail obviously represents the good Lord.
Okay.
And they influence all the rest of the people to see who is going to inherit the earth. You know what I mean? Who's going to win? It's kind of a battle versus good and evil, and it's all through influence of these people. And
Is it a violent influence, or is it just...
no, not
Okay.
really.
Boo.
Okay.
It's not like a battlefield. We stand on one side, you stand on the other. We're gonna win. You're
It's
gonna
more like a
lose.
difference of ideas and opinions.
Yeah, it takes it very literally. You know what I mean? Like in the book, they take a very pacifist approach. Like you can't, influence us the way that you want to. So do what you're gonna do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's very interesting, and I liked it a lot. My favorite character in the book was a guy named Nick. I don't know who's playing Nick in this one, but Nick is deaf and can't speak, but he can hear Mother Abigail in his dreams and shit.
Oh.
He's super cool. He's
You
super
can only
cool.
hear one voice. I mean...
Well, he also, he's a good character. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
We're gonna have to put all this news into one little word that I'm gonna say for everybody. Then we'll just dive into all the things that we've undoubtedly heard already. Spider-Man 3.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
There's a lot.
There's so much happening.
I watched a video with a rumor roundup thing on what the storyline is going to be, and I lost my mind if they're really going to do
Isn't it like they confirmed it today that Garfield and Maguire are both going to be in Spider-Man 3? Like
Both
they're
of them.
going to do a
Oh,
Spider-Man.
I skipped ahead about two news stories. I don't know if it's officially confirmed, but every major
That's what I'm saying.
Hollywood thing is like, yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, they're
like
doing it.
Marvel hasn't been like, yeah, we're doing it.
Right.
But everybody else is like,
everywhere
oh,
else,
they're doing it.
all the other trusted sites that we've seen.
All the
and
Variety,
other
Hollywood
Variety. Yep,
Reporter,
yep.
and all them.
And I got to give a shout
that
out
was
to my
today?
buddy Matt Sievers because he told me one time, if it's from We Got This Covered, it's terrible.
Oh, they
Yep.
just make it up.
And so I checked what he was saying, and I was like, oh my God, these people are terrible. So you'll never see stuff from We Got This Covered posted from our page.
No.
But everything else that we've checked that's reputable has said
comicbook.com
a couple different things.
is a good one.
Superhero hype is a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. They've said Benedict Cumberbatch, done deal. He's going to be in Spider-Man
He
3.
actually said that in an interview. I'm going to be in Spider-Man 3.
And Andrew Garfield and Tobey
Tobey
Maguire
Maguire.
have said
Are all but
they're confirmed
Yeah.
to be in this movie.
But there's someone who is
Jamie Foxx?
maybe, possibly Not 1,000% confirmed.
That's what I was going to get to. There's rumors, which, this is kind of, oh my God, we're not even going to get time to talk about the PickTober. We better hurry this along.
Yeah, I got to leave early.
I could talk about Spider-Man 3 all day.
Tom Hardy is going to be in
Possibly.
Spider-Man 3 as
Oh my
Venom.
God.
Can you freaking imagine that? Well, here somebody said, well, that's the way to send Spider-Man off so they won't be in the MCU anymore. Hold on a second. Why would you introduce all this, loan Doctor Strange over, talk about the rumors of Daredevil being introduced in the Spider-Verse, and have the old two Spider-Men come in just to say, you know what, bye MCU, we're done?
No, I think this is the complete opposite of that. I think this is completely opening everything up because what's coming out right before this? Multiverse of Madness.
That's right.
What else is coming out right before this? WandaVision, which is also multiverse-based.
Multiverse
So
of
is,
Madness. Go ahead.
They done anybody for Miles Morales? Is he going to be in it?
I
Haven't heard any rumors for Miles Morales.
What would be
I think
pretty
Miles
dope is if
Morales
they
is going to be a
ended it-
standalone.
Or if they end it with like a hint towards that being like the next big platform for the Spider-Verse. Because
So-
he doesn't necessarily need to be in the
you
movie,
know?
but if they do it like an
Agreed.
end credit scene with a Miles Morales idea or something. I mean, I don't know what this movie is going to end up being, if it's going to be
I
an
don't
end all or
think they
be all
can
or
go much longer without a Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Live action.
Well,
We've had
because
Spider-Man for forever.
if I saw a rumor today, actually Dan Casey from Nerdist did a really long video about this. Has anybody read One More Day, the Spider-Man series? It was
I have
a
not.
4-issue series.
Mm-mm.
It is a very amazing story. Like, no pun intended. I love this story.
We're going to pick it up tomorrow.
only-
now
it's
that you
only-
said
Yeah,
this.
now that-
Should I
One
give you
More
just
Day?
the cliff notes, like just the beginning?
Well, hold on. You're talking to two different people here. I don't know how Ryan is. I'm
Okay.
spoiler heavy. I love spoilers. I want to know what happens. I want to know the whole thing. 'Cause
Well, I'm
that
not going
gets
to tell
me-
you the end.
That gets
or
me
anything like
excited
that.
about the story. She doesn't like spoilers, but I do.
I'll just tell you this real quick.
Everyone does.
It features the devil Mephisto,
Okay.
and something very bad happens to somebody very close to Peter,
Okay.
and he has to make a deal with the devil to reverse what's going on in the universe,
Oh my
which
god.
crashes everything and opens up everything.
That's awesome.
If that's what happens, and that's how we get Mephisto,
If they bring Mephisto, I was about to say.
and it's Mephisto versus Spider-Man versus with Doctor Strange, like, oh my god, and then there's multiple Spider-Men. This could be.
And then the Rhodes galleries that you love so much.
Oh, my God.
There's talk of Scorpion, Rhino.
We're gonna get the Sinister
Electro.
Six most
Yep.
likely.
And if you get Sinister Six, how do you do that without Venom?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
They should. I mean, as packed as this is, I think they should give Venom his own, not his own thing, but like his own movie to kind of breach over.
I'm ready
This
to
is
see.
super packed.
I'm ready to see Venom with the big white spider across his chest in true Venom fashion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're so close to November, I can't stand it. I'm so
Well, let's not
excited
jump
to
ahead yet. We
see
still got
if
PickTober
Venom
left.
will
Yeah.
make a jump to the MCU.
It's gonna happen.
Venomized anybody.
What if
Think about it.
they're smart?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. They introduce, Bucky Barnes, Venomized Winter Soldier. The Venom symbiote has to jump on Bucky to do something. I don't care. I'll watch that 30 seconds of film and be so happy.
Venomized Deadpool, first one. That'd be
And the
great.
rumors of Deadpool becoming the biggest MCU star. And a lot of his major arcs have to deal with his love for Spider-Man. Come on, man. Sony would be ridiculous to not want to play in that playground.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
save this as one of our
Yeah.
episodes
Let's-
for
yeah.
November or
Yeah.
something.
So there's a movie coming out called Iron Mask, starring Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I saw the image, but I did not watch any trailer
It
or
looks
anything.
so corny and so terrible, and I am so excited for this to be one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh my god!
Just like Arnold and Jackie Chan going back and forth, I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
Those accents are both gonna kill.
Terrible.
Oh,
Terrible. Yeah, I can't wait for them to go back and forth again.
Carter.
It's an epic action adventure, and there's a CGI dragon. Do I need to say more stuff?
Nope.
Okay.
we need to get moving because Megan needs to leave in 15 minutes.
That's okay. That's okay. If I have
Yeah.
to leave early, you guys can keep talking about it. But
Oh,
I want to
good.
be here for a tiny bit.
Here's
Glad
our
we had
15-minute
different niche.
recap of Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
No, I'm not rushing
We've got
your
more
episode.
news. We've got more news to get into that I want to talk about, unless we want to just skip the rest of the news.
No,
and
let's
we
do
can
it.
talk about it
Gotta
on
give
I
the
just need
people
to-
the news.
I just
Okay.
gotta pull back a little bit and stop commenting so much.
Iron Fist rights might have returned back to Marvel Studios.
Thank God. Okay, next topic.
We might get rid of that old.
Never happened.
Xbox is being sued over their Xbox One controller problem where the screen drifts to the left while you're using it because the sticks, which anybody who's ever touched any video game system ever has dealt with. But people found the reason.
What?
Yeah. They're being sued. They're the second major corporation to be sued over this. Nintendo's already been sued over it.
The stupidest shit I've ever heard in my
Jesus
life.
Christ.
Can't believe
People just want.
According to the lawsuit, Xbox customers are being made to repair a known fault, or in other words, a fault that Microsoft knows about but isn't fixing. McFadden, I'm sorry I didn't read the beginning. Donald McFadden is the person who's making this claim. McFadden claims, notes that they acquired the pricey Xbox Elite controller, and not long after purchase, McFadden claims the controller's joystick started drifting. Seeing this, McFadden decided to upgrade the Xbox Elite controller too, only to run into the same problem within 4 months. McFadden, if I look on here and you're a pro streamer, I'm going to be pissed.
Of course he is.
I'm not gonna lie, my Elite controller is kind of drifting. The right one drifts though; it goes up and down.
Yeah,
and I don't want to.
I don't see it.
But
not getting
okay,
into
how
it.
many hours would you estimate you've put into that controller?
Too many to count,
Yeah.
bro.
And you're going to use
200?
that thing to death and then go,
What am
hey,
I,
it doesn't
rookie?
work.
500?
200. Probably got like 3,000 hours on that thing, bro.
Yeah, plenty of hours.
So you probably got your money's worth out of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know they're pricey
But
controllers, but
at
still.
the same time, though, like even the regular controllers, they know that plastic thing that's in them, they know that it breaks and it's messed up. So if you know about it and you're not doing anything to fix the problem, it's kind of shitty.
Especially when your controllers are $60, $75 a piece.
Well, that Elite controller is $180.
Yeah, but the issue isn't with the Elite controllers, is it?
Yeah.
I thought it is. I thought it was with
That
all the
one in
standards.
particular being quoted in there
Okay.
is the Elite.
Well, they just need
was
to
not
keep suing
listening. I'm so
Xbox.
sorry.
It goes out of business, and it's all PlayStation from here on out.
Wow.
Xbox got way too much money for that.
All right, so here's one that I'm ready to be happy about and ready to hear the salt
You're
in
looking at me.
Ryan's tears.
Okay.
on
Oh,
this
bro.
one.
Not
I'm so excited for Ryan to be upset about this movie because I'm going to go
I'm already
looking for reasons to love it. Speaking of hours dedicated to Xbox properties, how many hours have you spent on Monster Hunter World?
about 1,400.
1,400 hours.
hours.
So there's a movie trailer that just came out for Mila Jovovich and Tony Jaa's Monster Hunter.
So is it the husband and wife combo doing this too?
No.
It's not.
No, it's not a
horrible.
husband and wife combo.
Oh, I thought it was her
so
husband
bad.
directing this.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah,
I don't know
husband
that.
is actually directing
Because they
it or
always
something
work
like
together.
that.
Because he did all the Underworld and then made up her character for those movies.
Underworld?
Or not Underworld.
That's Kate Beckinsale, my friend.
Not Underworld. What's the other one?
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Made up Alice for no reason.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a fan of those movies. I think they're not that great, but I like that they came up with that property for it because otherwise I don't care.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the video games? Oh, I am fully willing to admit I was terrified playing a PlayStation and playing that game and hearing the door is locked from the inside. I would be the ultimate survivalist because when I played that game, I remember walking up and hearing the door is locked from the other side and hearing mumbling me like, nope, 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 nope. Taking it off, putting another game in. Look, I win. Don't need to know what's in here.
I
Don't
love those
care.
games.
But anyway, the trailer came out and I thought it looked so good.
It's going to be so bad.
You get a look at two monsters definitively. One of them is Diablos, which is a monster that burrows under sand like a desert and pops up underneath and kills you.
And for some reason, they're all supposed to be female.
He looks terrifying. I didn't read that.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be female, and they're actually vegetarians as well.
All the dinosaurs at Jurassic Park are female.
Are they taking like huge liberties with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
That's
Like-
the reason why I don't.
Like to a disgusting point?
yeah,
Like I can
see-
see the look on your face.
Well,
This world is already like its own world, its own thing.
it's established.
The way that they're doing this is they're doing some shit where soldiers go through like a time warp and end up in fucking the Monster Hunter world.
Yeah.
Rather than just making it start off in Monster Hunter world.
Yeah, which
and
they
then
could have.
being
Oh my God.
hunters and going after monsters, which I would have loved.
This sounds like the Super Mario movie.
Bro, they're gonna.
Oh,
This
God.
movie's gonna be such hot dog shit.
Well,
Right.
for somebody who is a purist of the game, I couldn't agree with you more. For somebody who really doesn't care if a Monster Hunter movie exists or not, I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, it's dumb. Man.
I'll still never understand why they pay millions of dollars for these properties and then just basically use the name.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Now, hey, say what you will. Those monsters look identical to what they do in the game, and they look great.
All right.
Don't they? Tell me I'm wrong.
I haven't even watched the trailer.
Okay,
bro.
so in the game, are
Just
there
because
quality
I'm that
human?
uninterested.
No. I'll answer that question for you before you ask it. No, go ahead.
What did you ask?
I was going to say, in the video game, are there quality human characters that could translate?
God is watching.
Is no. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Well, in Monster Hunter World, there are like a few characters that like could be badass.
Name me one definitive character with talking piece and character development in that franchise. Go.
I can't. Is he the third?
Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's try something else.
Well, see, you stopped playing before the end.
Oh no, I beat it.
Well, I mean the extended part before Iceborne and other
DLC.
things. So yeah, there's other stuff in there. But
Okay, let's try this. Name a video game, any video game.
Tomb Raider.
Lara Croft. She's definitely a character you can build a franchise off of. Gears of War, Marcus Phoenix. You can do that right there. We've got
Bandicoot.
a character. Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot has more of a titular character than Monster Hunter World.
Well, because
Come on.
Monster Hunter, you're the
And all he does
you're
is
the
collect
hunter.
peaches and jump on people's
it's a
heads.
first-person thing. It's you go through that trouble of trying to translate that
Runs from
because
Ooga
there's
Booga.
that point of view is just your point of view. You don't know that character. You never.
Yeah.
Do you even see that character?
See, that's the
Yeah,
thing
you
that
can-
you love about it is that character is you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you don't have talking points. You don't have a story to go off of, which is why they're doing what they're doing.
It's not like The Last of Us or any of those games where
Right.
you know Nathan Drake, you know the character. So
It's like playing a movie. Yeah.
yeah. So if you can't translate those characters, you have to make them up. Do they need to time warp
No,
into
no,
a
that's
world?
what I'm saying.
No.
There's some people that are there. That,
it's a
like,
movie.
In Monster Hunter World that you can tell like that guy was an obvious badass, but you don't know why. And you have like a commander, a guy who gives you his missions, and then
Okay.
you have like his son who's trying to take over his footsteps and become the next guy. Then you have your handler, who's your friend, who's on this journey, who's there because of her grandfather. Like there's story there. There's things that you could do that you don't have to. Hey, let's go get T.I. and his boys and bring them back in time. And
T.I. is in the movie. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it T-
Yeah.
They're pulling from the Fast and Furious
Yeah,
universe. No,
Hey,
not
man,
T.I.
behind us. Check our
And
six.
He was an
Will-
Ant-Man.
indubitably ruin this movie.
Yeah, that's true.
expeditiously.
Wait, was T.I. in Fast and Furious, or am I thinking
No.
of somebody else?
You're thinking of Ludacris.
Ludacris. Okay, T.I. was an Ant-Man. Never mind. Next topic, please.
Yes. Next topic. Moving on. I thought this was kind of a touching thing. In no way are we sponsored by Travelers Insurance or anything like that, but they did something that I saw which is really cool. Zadie, the Legend of Z-Hawk. This is a young man who was, I think, I don't want to say it incorrectly. He's a protector. Basically, the story behind this was I think they had a kid who was killed on accident, something that could have been prevented, and they decided to make a story about him, Zadie, the Legend of Z-Hawk. And so in honor of this kid that passed away, they made a comic about him, about the hero that he would have been had XYZ thing happen. I wish I knew more information, but I thought it was really, really cool. Check it out, and go check that out as well. And that's the last of our news there. Other than, the last thing I've got is about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire signing up for Spider-Man 3. So with that,
Thanks, guys, for stopping by this week. That's been our episode.
we have been talking for a minute. But no, we were going to get into Mark's Picktober episode. I don't have it, Mark.
Are you
Let
throwing
him
it to
have
me?
Would you like me to?
Yeah, please.
We're going to send it on over to the cyborg Mark. He's been eating AA batteries off the microphone all day, so he's nice and charged up to talk about my favorite property in the MCU, my favorite ensemble of ragtag would-be heroes who come together and prove all the odds wrong and beat whoever they need to beat in space. We're going to send it on over to Mark. Beep, boop, beep.
Well, thanks, Dick.
Oh my god!
I didn't get your name wrong.
No, you didn't.
Okay, so we've been very DC heavy, especially when I get the influence on the topics.
Yep.
So I wanted to think of something Marvel centric that I really love. And while going into obviously Iron Man 1, Thor 1, Iron Man 2, Thor 2, but when Guardians of the Galaxy hit, that was the first Marvel movie I loved.
Yeah.
I loved that movie. All the other movies were good. I can watch Iron Man 1 100 times and be very happy with it. But there was just something about the unknown of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm a big Parks and Rec fan, so I knew all about the
Chris Pratt
going into the role and training for it, and you kind of see him getting in better shape over the course of a season.
His excuse when they see him and he's in ridiculous shape is, I just stopped drinking beer.
Yeah, I just stopped drinking beer. Right. His ass spent hours and hours and hours in the gym. There's no way they got that scene of him in the prison getting hosed off by him just not drinking beer anymore.
Oh, no. He was
serious.
He was in, 8-hour gym sessions every day with a personal trainer and a personal chef and everything else.
Hey, you guys want me to play a stand-in extra in a Marvel movie? I will go spend 8 hours in the gym a day. I will get in impeccable shape, and I'll look great on screen.
You already do, bud.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. Let's give it up for Mark.
I'm going to let it go. I got to take it when I can get it.
Yeah.
So, what were your guys' first thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy when you first heard about it, or maybe even when you first saw it?
I adored it. I thought that it was just such a great story with amazing characters, something very different, like you said, that we haven't really seen before in the MCU, and it was just a beautiful movie. Like, it just was so gorgeous to watch. I loved it.
So, I saw that the first trailer for it, with the soundtrack and the visuals and the character building just over the course of 2 minutes. It was a very, very large I'm in.
Yeah.
For me.
Definitely. James Gunn being attached to it caught my attention.
He's the man.
Pretty heavily. I was like, ooh. And then, just like you said, Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana. I love her.
Michael
Even
Rooker.
Even Bradley Cooper. I mean, even you can't have Rocket.
I'm not big on Michael Rooker.
I was super big into Walking Dead.
Yeah.
In like 2000, I think it was. When did this come out? 2014, 15?
I don't know.
I think it's
in
something
that
like
ballpark somewhere.
So I was super into the Walking Dead still. I only made it about 5 seasons, but I was deep into it at that point. So
it was too many, you ask me.
You know what? It had some glowing moments, but I dropped out very quickly. I've only made it about halfway through it.
Yeah, I dropped out of it because I read the first couple graphic novels, and then I started watching the show and said, this isn't for me.
Yeah, well, I did it the other way around, so I think I enjoyed it a little bit more that way.
Back to my reaction for it. I had high hopes. I didn't really know what to expect because I didn't know the property very well. But I remember getting to the end of that movie and going, holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a game changer. I was like, that movie right there is, to me, paved the way for all the other superhero movies, more so than Iron Man or Captain America or Thor, because none of them have superpowers.
Yeah, they were all earthbound,
yeah,
built-in science kind of characters.
Yep.
So this was the first intergalactic adventure for the Marvel Studios universe.
I mean, kind of outside of Thor. Thor's got obviously that Asgard sort of, but it's not. It's only him. Like there isn't really anybody else.
But even like Thor, it's more like a futuristic medieval kind of scenario. So it's very familiar still.
Medieval, and he's still like living in a city, even though it doesn't have the space sort of.
It's
feel.
A normal society.
Right,
it feels normal to us. While I love it, I love everything about Asgard.
Absolutely,
this was just.
But it's in
way
space.
Out of left. They're going into people's heads, and there's a mining colony.
The Celestial.
As many times I've seen that movie, I just realized that last night that it was the Celestial's head.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Listening to it, I'd seen it a bunch of times.
That's
but never
nowhere.
Caught it. Yeah.
Yep.
That's their headquarters in the comics.
Headquarters. No, never mind. Sorry, I'll see myself out.
But one thing that we talked about, and this was, prior to the Infinity War and the huge mashups with everybody kind of coming together, we had talked about how amazing it's going to be to see the interactions between Star-Lord and Rocket and Robert Downey and Iron Man.
I was salivating for thinking about that.
I wanted to see Drax talk to Iron Man so badly.
That Infinity War trailer where they push it all, you go through the whole trailer. It's a roller coaster ride of a trailer, and then the last 5 seconds of the trailer is Thor going, "Who the hell are you guys?" And it shows the Guardians, and I went, "Ah!"
So good.
But that's because so James Gunn is one of my favorite directors because I think he has he just has a talent for making us care about characters in a very short span of time.
Yep. It's
the only Marvel movie up to this point that introduced 5 characters at once. you could say more because there's Yondu, there's a couple other characters.
Yeah, but the Guardians characters.
But the main Guardians heroes, he introduced all 5 of them. We got all of their motivations. We got all of their backstories. We understand why they do the things that they do in a very short period of time. And that is very hard to accomplish.
Yes, it is.
And so...
And it's also, to your point, it's hard to make people care about people that they have no idea about.
I didn't know who the hell Star-Lord was an hour ago.
I'd say the majority of people had no idea who they were. And I would love to go back and look at how comic book sales probably spiked immensely once that property came out. It was big.
It was through the roof. Because, so Guardians came out in the 60s. They were part of, like, I think it was called, like, Marvel Superheroes. It's kind of like the DC Detective Comics, DC Action Comics kind of thing, where they're just kind of mini stories, a bunch of them put together.
And Star-Lord was drastically different from what I recall.
So in the first run in the 60s, it was none of the characters that we know from this iteration of the Guardians. And then it disappeared for 20 years. And then in the early 90s, it got its own comic run, which all the characters were different. The only one that was included was Yondu. So Michael Rooker's
who's an original.
Yes, so he's one of the originals.
Yes.
And then that had about a 5-year run and disappeared for a while and then didn't come back till, I think it was either 2005 or 2008. So it wasn't that long to appear. I think it was 2005. So between 2005 and 2014, that's not that long to introduce this team and then to convert them over to the MCU when people like Iron Man have been around since the 70s.
That's what I was going to say. Compared to the other guys around, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk.
Yeah, 40s, 50s, 60s,
Black Widow,
70s.
Captain Marvel, all of them have been around and been established.
Mm-hmm. This is a team that Star-Lord was created in 2005, and he's already converted over. So they only had a run of like 100 comics, I think, before this came out, and then it splintered off. There was a Rocket and Groot side story. There was a Drax story that CM Punk wrote.
I know.
Which I still haven't read, but I'd really like to. There's a Star-Lord series. I think they've all pretty much had their own individual series.
They've become household names now.
Yes.
Yep. It's not uncommon to see. There was the Infinity War comic that was Gamora, who was one of the main, characters in that. I can't remember if she's a protagonist or an antagonist in it, but
Gamora was and Nebula, her sister.
Yeah.
And Nebula plays a very big part in that. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, as far as the MCU goes, when we're talking about the movies, of course they all make you feel something, but I think that if I'm, and correct me if I'm wrong, if
You're
there's
wrong.
moments that I'm thinking of, am I? Jeez. But if I'm remembering the movies kind of in a certain order, I remember Guardians being the one that like struck my emotional nerve pretty hard as opposed to some of the other ones. Like of course there's moments like obviously anytime Uncle Ben dies, for fuck's sake, because that happens every 3 years for us.
I was tired of that. Go ahead, kill him.
Right.
Yeah, let's go.
Just start with him dead. Forget this. But like the character development in Guardians 1 is so... It's done so like poetically that it's like by the end of that movie when Groot saves everybody and Rocket is like, he goes from being like an ultimate badass the whole time to an emotional blubbering mess. And at that point you literally feel like you're him.
Yeah.
And it took an hour and a half movie to get you there. It's like, it's so incredible how it was done. I love that movie. I watched it yesterday and today.
Yeah, me too.
And that's another testament to James Gunn because, correct me if I'm wrong, but in my own brain and how
He's
I
not
theorize
wrong.
things,
He's not wrong.
He's waiting.
Hear him out.
When Uncle Ben dies, as if you're not familiar with the comics, but like if you're watching Spider-Man for the first time, not familiar with anything else, and Uncle Ben dies, he's only been in the movie for 15 minutes. You sympathize with that because you think of your own uncle or your own family. When Batman's parents die, you think about your own parents. Like, you don't have a Groot, so...
But I mean,
or
in
a
a
pet
sense,
raccoon.
I was going to say, but in a sense, I mean, you kind of get that feeling that Groot is kind of like Rocket's pet, which is a little weird. Like, he's not, but they're like bros. Like,
I
not
got
necessarily
the
a
best
bet,
friend
but-
vibe.
Yeah.
Or like
that's my
best
boy.
friend, but just
You know
because
what
he
I mean?
doesn't talk that much, you kind of get, I mean, depending on how you're seeing it and viewing it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the world is generally more attached to their animals dying than
That's true.
Big fact.
humans dying. Like,
Sure.
not that Groot's
Sometimes.
an animal again, but still, it's like there's that best friend, you know, sidekick. You think about it as a pet or whatever, but like there's that bond that they have that it doesn't even take a whole lot, obviously, of like dialogue from Groot and the back and forth. I mean, you get a lot of that, but you have no idea what the hell Groot's saying. You're just getting the responses from Rocket,
And I love how Rocket's the only one that understands him.
Yeah, it's incredible. I love it.
And Am and Groot, and in that order.
Exclusively in that order.
Yep. The thing for Guardians, though, for me, that really made it, was the music, bro.
Yes. Both movie soundtracks were excellent.
I will say that is my most listened to soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
true.
That's probably
I still have it on my phone right
2
now.
is the only one that rivals it for me.
Yeah.
Umbrella Academy is getting in there. Like,
yeah.
That's been pretty up there
TV.
lately.
TV, yeah.
So I don't know. And okay. So I'm getting ahead of myself.
That's okay.
Let me go back to my notes because I'm just getting really excited talking about Guardians
No, I
of the
just love it.
Galaxy.
I think there's only been one movie in the MCU that has rivaled that movie for me personally in terms of game changer and different styles, and that's Ant-Man. I thought Ant-Man was masterfully done. I loved everything about it, and that's the only other one that I really felt that way for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there were like even side characters in this movie that I really grew to like. Even like John C. Reilly's character.
Yeah.
When he goes
Loved
home to
him
his
too.
family. He's like, my family's alive because of you.
So it isn't Star Prince.
Like, who knew I thought I'd be like emotionally invested
That's
in
one of
John
my-
C. Reilly.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments is when they first lock them up and catch them beginning. And who's the other actor when he's like, sounds like a bunch of assholes.
The British guy. It looks like a
bunch
bunch
of
of
assholes.
a-holes.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry, I don't
what
know
is
how
his
this thing
name?
works.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I don't know how this machine works.
works.
Well, I have to run, guys.
That's
so-
all right. Yeah, we
Just
get
leave
it.
your kids
We're
on the side of the road.
honor
You
them.
pick them
Okay.
up later.
We'll finish the episode.
I was gonna say,
We'll go
you
on.
know me well enough to know how much I love a lot of the things, so just mention me throughout the rest
I
of the
certainly
Megan would
will.
love this.
I can't wait to get yelled at later for forgetting to talk to you guys about Megan's love for something.
Yeah, it's important.
You did
Well,
tell
I
him I
hope
like
you guys
that, too.
enjoy sweating to death.
Yeah, leave the door open on your way out.
I'm done.
Let me get that snap back.
Oh, Megan is wearing a killer Guardians of the Galaxy snapback today
It
that
is
we'll
super
have to
dope.
take a shot of and put that on the
Damn you, Ryan. Why'd you close the door? It got cool for a second. All right, so how do you guys want to tackle this? Do you want to talk about individual characters? Do you want to talk about... We can go into Volume 2 if you want to.
Hey, bro, it's your Picktober. We just live here.
I just want a
work here.
reason to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'd love to talk about the characters,
Okay,
actually.
let's start with Star Prince.
Star Prince. I identified with Star Prince very much because he has that moment in the very beginning when his mom is dying
Oof.
and he doesn't want to be there and he
Yeah.
doesn't want to accept it and he doesn't want to be a part of it. Talk about hooking somebody in the first moment. I was just like,
When I rewatched this movie, I think it's for the 4th time, maybe 5th.
you've only seen this movie 4 or 5 times?
No, I've probably seen it more than that.
So I say, God bless you.
But I was watching it again last night, just as a little refresher, and I'm like,
Samesies.
and I just that first scene, I'm just like, holy crap!
And then he's
Like,
terrified.
I never noticed he had a black eye before.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just realized that.
Yeah, he's fighting the other kids because they smushed a frog for no reason.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and he done nothing.
And you identify for that, too. He's like, this poor kid is just sticking up for something that can't defend itself, and he got his ass whooped for his trouble. And then he has to go to the hospital, and his mom is dying, and they're trying to tell him, this poor kid, go speak to your mom that's dying. This is going to be the last time you ever speak to her. Go
Holy
talk to
crap.
her. Could you imagine, as a child,
No.
how that would mess you up in the brain? Like, this person you love more than anything on this planet, they're about to die.
Your only parent,
And you need to go hurry up and have the last conversation you're ever going to have with her. I saw that and I was like, oh,
Yeah, and then when he
Jeez,
didn't want to
man.
hold his hand.
yeah.
Her hand.
Oh,
He didn't want to
yeah.
because he
This little
didn't.
dick.
To
But I
me,
was
it was
like-
like he didn't want to accept it.
Accept it,
Because if I
exactly.
hold your hand, that makes it real. That means you're about to die. And if I don't hold on to you and I don't do that, then it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
And what's he going to do? He's going to run.
oh man,
And that shapes who he is
yeah.
Yeah,
all the time.
that and the music. And I
So-
love that.
It starts off super dramatic with that, and you get the feels right away, and then it jumps into him breaking in Indiana Jones style.
Yep.
To get the unmentioned Infinity Stone so far. So it jumps into the action sequence. He blows through the wall. He uses the rockets to get out of there. Wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But right before all that, it completely breaks everything when he's like, "You may know me as Star-Lord."
And the indomitable Digimon Hansu, who I love
he is
in
great.
everything he's ever been in, just plays it so good.
Who?
He's so scary in the beginning too. When he's like, "Come on," and he's like, "Grab him," and I was like, "Oh God, this is gonna turn really bad." Then he's like, "There's another name you might know me by, Star-Lord." So originally he was supposed to say that like a badass, and they were supposed to know who Star-Lord was, and that was Chris Pratt's idea to say that he knew that nobody knew who he was, and he kept trying to get people to like, "I'm Star-Lord," and they're like, "Who?" And fun fact, the Ninja Turtles were coming out. The remake of the Ninja Turtles was coming out the same week that movie came out, and the little grub keeps touching him. He's like, "Ninja Turtle, you better stop poking me." That's because Ninja Turtles was coming out at the same time.
That's funny. I like it.
Me too.
Oh, man.
But his character, man, it goes on a great arc, and he really, I don't think, even ever matures. Truly.
He's pretty much himself. Like, he cares about people more, and he's growing to love the family he comes into through all this, but he's himself at the end of the day.
Yeah, and he's willing to
do the right thing.
Whatever he has to do to survive, have a great time. You know what I mean? He's not afraid to bend the rules, but there's a line he will not
A little
cross.
bit of good, a little bit of bad.
Yep, a little bit of both. So, who should we talk about next?
Drax the Destroyer. I love Dave Bautista.
You know who I am, yes? When he said that, I was like, you fucking better know who he is. There's going to be some trouble if you don't know who he is.
Oh, man.
I didn't think he was going to do a great job. I was worried about
I rolled my eyes when they said, Batista's going to be in an upcoming Marvel movie. I'm like,
nope.
Oh, boy.
I was like, he doesn't have the acting chops. Vince McMahon got him in here, and I was so happy to put my foot in my mouth.
Oh.
I have a big size 13 wide, and I was like smiling ear to ear when I put my foot in my mouth. Because he did so good.
He did. He was perfect for that.
Yeah.
And God bless him for sitting through like 8 hours of makeup every day.
Every
to get
day.
those freaking things put on him.
You watched the video of him doing that?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh,
brutal.
my God.
And he was like, I will always play Drax. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play him. You want to wear the... Yes. And there have been so many like actors, like the guy who did Nightcrawler specifically was like, I will never be back for Nightcrawler because I don't want to do this.
That's what Jennifer Lawrence did too in the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
That's why in the last one she's just basically human form the entire time.
Hers is full body too.
That's true.
That's tough.
Yeah, Drax is waist up.
Yep.
So, but man, I love Drax. Like, just the idea of the character. I'm not sure, because I haven't read a lot of the original Guardians of the Galaxy
There were
comics.
liberties taken.
I was
going
to say there's probably liberties taken.
He was originally created to be a weapon to kill Thanos.
That's right.
In
Oh,
the
wasn't he
comics.
like an insurance salesman or something?
Engineered, right. Yes, he was a
He's
human
the
being.
soul of an insurance salesman that plays the saxophone.
Yep.
I remember reading that, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and at some point, Drax even like sheds his outer being to a more ruthless, stronger Drax inside of him, and it's a physical metamorphosis, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So like that's something I would love to see too.
Yeah.
Although you couldn't do it because then you wouldn't have Dave Bautista. Hey, we need you to be smaller. You know,
That's
it just
true.
wouldn't work.
I just, even though there were liberties taken with that character,
Yeah,
I think it's all for the best.
I do too.
Rather than just a ruthless killer with two knives.
Exactly.
So,
But
love his
I liked
stupidity.
his, because he was a tough guy. He was a simpleton, which was kind of funny too to me. But at the same time,
he's just literal, that's all.
Yeah. Well, very literal.
yeah, my favorite. Well, speaking of Guardians 2, is when he's retching just because Mantis is trying to wake him up.
Oh.
Wake up, and he's like, ugh, ugh. What's the matter? I'm imagining
You're
being
hideous.
with you physically. And then she's like, I don't even like the type of thing you are. And he's like, hey, there's no need to throw insults around.
I think my favorite part with him
So
in one
good.
is when Star-Lord goes back to get his tape recorder, and he's like, what is that? He's like, you're
Yeah.
an imbecile.
You're an imbecile.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he could say a word that big.
He's like, you're
He's
going
not
to be
stupid.
right. He says, you're going to be a valued ally in battle. What was so important? And then he's like this, and he's like, you're an imbecile. It's like, that is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
I mean, he makes a really bad decision in this movie when he calls Ronan and says, I'm here, come fight me. But he's also very drunk when he does it.
I gotta say, I loved that.
Drunk dialing supervillains.
You called him?
Hey, I'm over here.
Come down here. There's an ass whooping down on the planet. Come on down here and get it. I was like, let's freaking go. That's amazing.
Drax drunk playing whatever gambling game that was with the weird rat monsters
Yeah.
running around.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to see Drax drunk all the time. This guy looks like a hoot.
If it ends in a bar fight with him and Rocket again, absolutely.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic, and Groot always having to play middleman for everybody. But yeah, I was trying to look up something on Drax's metamorphosis, and somebody hears this and I'm wording it incorrectly. Please let me know. But I have seen it before in a comic where he was changing into something different, but he was definitely designed to kill Thanos.
Yeah.
That I do remember.
I remember it was Thanos' father. Oh, what
Titan?
No, like not the Maker. What is Thanos' dad's name?
Bob.
Yeah, Bob. Bob Thanos. Nice to meet you.
I'm pretty sure it's maybe it's not Titan.
Pretty sure it starts with an M. But Thanos. Okay, so Thanos kills this guy. He slays this guy in the middle of the street in front of his wife. Mentor. That's what it was. And so Thanos' dad goes, you know what? He just can't get away with this. We're gonna teach him a lesson. So he sucks the soul out of that guy's body and puts it in the Drax body and says, "You're Drax the Destroyer. You have one mission: kill Thanos."
Kill Thanos.
So my son will always be on his toes.
But I did like the idea of him having a family. It made it more relatable to the story for him to have his family be killed. And then that was his reason for vengeance and going in. It was a lot more relatable. I like that.
Instead of just being a single-minded dummy, like he has a reason. Everything else has been stripped away from me. This is my only purpose now. Not the purpose I was designed to have. So I like that a lot.
Yeah. Looking at his powers and abilities, he's just... Drax had telepathy. Could you imagine?
Ugh.
He even had to fight Thanos in a psychic battle to a stalemate. That's pretty impressive.
Oh,
That's a lot smarter of a Drax than we've seen in the movie.
Yeah.
Unless he stood so incredibly still that his movements were imperceptible.
Okay, maybe he is an idiot.
And he's sure he was invisible.
I am partial to the movie version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the version I'm most familiar with.
Yep. I like it too.
But I feel like James Gunn did a really great job of building out those characters, so there's
now,
really not a whole lot to complain about.
But now Drax has... Well, Marvel has taken liberties with all their properties to make them more like their counterparts in the movie because they're so adaptable. Like,
those comic books have been retroactively changed.
100%.
Yeah.
To make them just like they are in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Which is smart. Yeah.
So, okay.
Because that movie made $800 million.
Yeah. And it's going to continue to make money like that. It's crazy. It's made Chris Pratt a household name. Do you want to bundle Rocket and Groot together?
Yeah,
or
I
talk
think
about
so.
them individually.
Yeah. Let's bundle them together.
How about the potential for Groot to be such a powerful character?
I was thinking, okay, one of my favorite scenes from the first movie is when all those guys come rushing in towards the end.
Yeah.
And he just skewers them like a barbecue. Yep. And then he turns around and he just smiles at everybody.
Throws them side by side in this tunnel, beating them to death, bludgeoning them to death, and then, yes, throws them all down simultaneously and looks back like, thumbs up, I do good?
Yeah.
Because, like, the doors open and everybody in the Guardians goes, oh, my God.
Yeah.
They just all look at each other like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And
Vin Diesel, baby. Yeah.
We good?
I am Groot. So good. And I like how in the Infinity Saga, they're all starting to understand him. That makes it a lot better.
The longer you've
I don't want him to say anything more than I am Groot or we are Groot or whatever it is, but I darn sure like that people can understand him now.
I've been wondering, does Rocket actually understand him or does he just understand the inflections?
He does actually understand him.
Okay.
Yeah, because they taught it on Asgard as an elective. Thor took it. He speaks Groot too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But yes, Groot is a language, and yes, I think there's some telepathic side of understanding what they're saying.
Okay.
A lot of it is inflection and stuff like that. Just pee in the cup, pull the cup out into space, and go in the cup again. What's a twig? Everyone's seen a twig.
Damn.
But I just thought Groot was the glue that held that team together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody was looking at Star-Lord when he wanted to fight, you know, Yondu for the thing and then go after Ronan. They're like, you're an idiot. And then Groot's like, he's got a point. And then they're all like, well, okay.
Well, also, he's like the only one to stick up for him, and then they look over, and then he's like eating bark off of his shoulder. There's like a little weed or something coming out. And he's like, oh, shit, that's the guy that's behind me right now.
You're making me beat up grass. But I want to see King Groot after a while. I want to see the Groot species. I want to see more than just him. I want to see them interact with more Groots.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, King Groot.
Do you want to see more of what Rocket is? If we're going to pair them together? Do you know about the half-world and all that?
Oh, I want his character explored.
Yeah.
Do I want to see more Rockets, more people like Rocket?
Do you want to see his girlfriend from the comics, the Otter?
Not really.
That's going to make the greatest toy of all time. It's going to sell 1 million of them. It's going to be the
she'll
new
probably
Baby
be
Yoda.
around. Do I have a need to see that? No. Do I want to see Rocket get retribution for what's happened to him? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I want to see Rocket go unhinged.
There's supposedly there's like a whole planet of these engineered animals that were like their intelligence was turned all the way up so they can take care of mental patients.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly there's like a whole
they're pretty much
civilization.
support animals.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
the
much.
island of Dr. Moreau on crack.
Yeah, kind of. With a bunch of circuit boards.
Yeah.
I love how Rocket's like the MacGyver. Just give me this, and this, and
his little raccoon hands are going 1 million miles an hour.
And that guy's eye.
yeah. I need that guy's leg.
Yep.
I love how
I got the leg.
his intelligence gets.
I didn't really need that. I only needed these 3 things.
What was the look on his face?
Yeah. What did he say? What did he say when you asked for the leg?
I had to transfer him
Was he
30,000 units.
Was he like hopping around? I love that.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely identified with him doing that.
But I love how over the course of the movie, every member of the Guardians learns that whatever he does, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Because you know in that last scene when Peter Quill's like dancing and stuff, everybody, Gamora and Drax kind of look over and they see Rocket like doing something and they're like, oh shit, he's doing something. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yep. It's gonna
Without
be
even
great.
having to say it. They're like, okay.
Yeah. Megan's a big fan of Rocket. I feel the need to say that as she's not here.
As am I.
But
I've never heard her
she
say that before.
loves Rocket the raccoon in a major way. Not just because of Bradley Cooper, just because of the way he is.
Yeah.
The way his
Yeah.
little plucky attitude is. And we've seen it's so crazy. It's a tribute to James Gunn, Sean Gunn, and Bradley Cooper to make you feel for an animated raccoon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God Bradley Cooper got this because originally he was supposed to have a British accent, which he does in some of the animated stuff.
Ew.
It's very off-putting.
Yeah.
Who was going to play him?
I don't even think they got that far. I think once they found out Bradley Cooper was interested, they're like, done.
Yeah.
But I have seen a couple animated things and some video game stuff where he has a very strong British Cockney accent, and it's like, oh, that is off-putting.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear.
You know what's funny is I still don't hear Bradley Cooper's voice.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I look at Rocket. Like,
It's two completely different voices.
And even still, and also like Vin Diesel, I still don't hear him in Groot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just waiting for him to break down. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. But he doesn't.
You thought you had me? Or almost had me?
La Familia.
Golly, get it out of here.
Yeah,
I want to see a Rocket arc, though. When he was the last Guardian standing, I was like, oh, you left him alive? He's the one who always acts like he doesn't fucking need anybody. Like, screw everyone else. I could do this without you. You're going to make him lose everyone?
Oh,
But
that
at the
is
same
heartbreaking.
time, he's like that. He'll go after it too.
Yeah.
We've all lost people. You, me, the chick with the antenna. Dude, until this very minute, I thought you were a Build-A-Bear. Maybe I am. Dude, just I loved that, and I think there's so much more for Rocket to do and explore, and Groot, and the whole Guardians
all
team.
of them.
They set it up to keep on going, and thank you to Disney for taking your giant head out of your sphincter and bringing James Gunn back. Because
Yes.
if you didn't do that, Guardians 3 probably doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
If it somehow does happen, it damn sure doesn't work. It's not the same.
Dave Bautista was the first person I went, if you're not doing it, James Gunn, I'm not doing it.
He's not
Yeah.
doing it.
I'm out.
Yeah.
He stood by him for
Yep.
sure.
He stood
Yeah.
by him all the way up until
Well, James Gunn was a victim of cancel culture. Hold my
Yeah.
hand. Cancel culture.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
I'm contagious today.
That's all right.
But
And I like that they stuck with him, and I
Yeah.
think that they made the right decision.
and it took him going, fine, I'll go do this somewhere else. I'll go do the Suicide Squad, which this movie is the reason I'm so excited about the Suicide Squad. Because if he can do that with Marvel characters, he'll do the same magic with DC characters.
Oh, good Lord.
Hopefully.
Here comes Mark.
But unfortunately,
No.
no one gives a shit about the Suicide Squad. You tried.
Nobody gives a
swinging
shit about
miss.
the...
I
okay.
disagree with that.
But like swing. Well, some people care about the Suicide Squad, but I mean, inside of the movie,
Don't talk the movie.
Really? Like
Yeah.
really?
yeah, the first
you
movie
find
was...
me somebody who
was
really
awful.
cares about the Suicide Squad.
I care about Harley Quinn. I want to see Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I did think Deadshot was going to be a good idea, and then I saw that they had King Shark. I'm so excited for King Shark, I could pee myself.
That's why they pretty much cleaned house
Yeah, I
for
mean,
this one.
but
They
I
kept-
mean, it's hard to go back after that bad taste left in your mouth.
That's
after
why
the
this
other
isn't
one.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah.
It's just
The Suicide
Yeah,
Squad.
the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. Because he's going to take all these weird... Okay, so think about it. If somebody pitched you Guardians of the Galaxy in 2013, like, oh, there's a tree,
A raccoon.
a raccoon,
A talking raccoon.
a guy who doesn't really understand anything, and then a guy from Earth and a green girl. You're like, who the fuck are these people?
But I'd probably give it a shot at least. I gave Suicide Squad a shot.
Well, that's your mistake, not mine.
Speaking of the Green Girl, we skipped arguably one of my favorite story arcs in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
In Miss Deadliest Woman in the Universe,
Oh, yeah.
Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
I could not have been happier with the casting choice, the way she portrayed her character. She's kind of a literal one, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She doesn't joke around or anything like that, but like
She was raised as an assassin.
Yeah.
Like, it's a dry sense
her
of humor.
whole family is killed.
Her
She's-
dad is Thanos.
She's around with a forcibly adoptive father.
Well, yeah.
Thanos.
She's the ward of Thanos.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, she's been sitting here and taking it for so long, and she's finally going to say, you know what? Fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm.
That Stockholm syndrome's wearing off.
Yep. I don't care no more. I hate your chair. I hate your food. I hate your little bug people that work for you. I'm out of here. And I'm taking my cyborg sister with me. If
She
she'll
ain't
go.
going. She's got daddy issues.
It's fine.
She needs daddy's approval.
And, you know, like little things like that, like her demeanor all through Guardians 1, I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she tried doing the right thing and she was trying to like get into what Peter was saying. She's like, wait a minute, I know what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? And then she's so hardcore the whole movie, even up to the end. And just the little subtleties when you see her in the beginning of Infinity War and she's up there just singing and dancing in the front seat of the ship. Like that right there just showed so much character
That's
development.
the
for
range
me.
of where it started to
It's
where
like,
you get to.
man, to see her doing that, she's
Yeah.
definitely changed. She's let the you know the brakes off a little bit.
You kind of see her just kind of like when she puts the headphones on, she's trying to
Yeah.
build that relationship with Peter. She's kind of nodding her head a
The
little
melody is soothing. I was like, perfect, perfect.
bit. So she's trying to open up.
Yeah.
She's not used to that.
Right.
You know, you see where she grew up in this dark, gray ship with like weird bug people around, like you said.
Right.
So in those like restrictive, in that restrictive atmosphere, and then she's kind of like, okay, human stuff. I
Yeah.
like this.
Let
It's
me
kinda
try
cool.
this and see what you got going on.
I don't dance.
Yeah. And this will be another story for another episode, but I'm definitely on Team Star-Lord for what happens with Gamora and Thanos and all that stuff that happens. I was like, as soon as that started developing, I was like, I know what's going to happen here.
Mm-hmm.
And I completely support it. You know what I mean? You put yourself in that situation. What if
Yeah.
it was your wife or your girl and
Yeah.
God.
somebody did that? Then you show up and you're like, hi, I'm right in front of your face now. You would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
tell me you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
I was like,
in that
Star-Lord
moment-
ruined it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Oh, in that moment, I say the same thing, but in that moment, nah, Thanos, that ass is mine, bro.
Yeah.
You're not killing my wife and thinking that shit's gravy.
And
Nah.
not thinking that we're not dancing
Nah.
at some point.
I'm going full John Wick. You killed my dog times 10, bro. Like,
Exactly.
let's go.
And that is a tribute to how good she was as a character and how, how much, every single one of those members of the team you can't do without.
Yeah. They
You know
all
what I mean?
play their part, and they all kind of mesh together perfectly.
Yeah.
And even in 2, they
Yeah, I was
bring in
gonna say.
they bring in Mantis, and she kind of slides right into the fold,
right
and
in
she's
there.
another really lovable character
Mhm.
that I want to see more of.
Yeah.
I want to see more of all of these people. I want to see more of Yondu. What the heck is Sean Dunn's name?
Oh my gosh.
Starts with an R.
Talking
Oh
about
my God.
Taserface?
No, not Taserface.
No,
Um,
Oh gosh, I wish I could think of it because he got the fin at the end of Guardians 2.
Yeah, because he got the fin and the quill, and he kind of wants to go on and do his own thing. I want to see more of that too.
Yeah.
yeah.
All
What
those
is
people.
his name?
I was gonna say, didn't Yondu die?
How dare you.
Yondu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Spoilers.
gosh.
And I was gonna say
Here
too,
we go.
that
Here
was
we
actually
go.
one of the
Hold on, I'm gonna
coolest
do it really
weapons.
low. Go ahead, keep talking.
I love Yondu's weapon. That
That thing
arrow.
is.
I was like, that is
yeah.
so different and
That thing is
original.
so
like
cool.
that is awesome.
Kraglin, I think. Is his name.
Kraglin, that's
To
it.
be controlled by his whistle.
I
Like,
think
he
it's
didn't have to do
Kraglin, but I'm gonna
anything
go
and
ahead
just-
and still do this.
like
And
that was dope.
All he has to do is do one of these, open up his pocket,
pocket, and-
like a little jacket.
Kraglin, I was
Yep.
right.
You're right. Wow.
Turn that way up.
Wow.
I'm just not patting myself on the back. Megan loves it when I do that, when I pat myself on the back and I'm right about everything. She
Who?
specifically loves that.
Yeah.
Megan, my wife, the one that's not here, she'll back me up.
Seat's empty. I don't know who you're
Yeah,
talking
she'll
about.
she'll back me up. But either way, yeah, it's just such a great team. I'm so glad you picked this particular movie. Too,
I just wanted to watch it
in this
again.
group.
Yeah, honestly,
All you wanted.
this is the first time like I got homework for the podcast, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely." Gonna
I can
fuss
do
with
this.
Like, even I was like, "Yo, let's watch Guardians." Like I went to go like Guardians, put it on.
If
Let's
I
go.
had a little
Yeah.
bit more
Alright.
time, I would have popped in 2.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I finished 1 today. If I had just an extra hour, like 2 hours,
I would have Well, I didn't have the time to do this because I was dungeon mastering last night, so I didn't get a chance to do my homework. However, I would have watched Guardians 1, Guardians 2, Infinity War, Endgame, all of it.
I guess I got to do that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. You have to. You don't have a choice.
So, what do you guys want to see in 3?
I don't know, but it needs to open with somebody else dancing again.
Oh, yeah,
Like-
that was a pretty interesting one.
Drax this time?
Yeah, yeah.
Drax popping and locking.
Oh, bro, that'd be hilarious.
What do I want to see? I want to see Adam Warlock.
Me too.
I really want to see Adam Warlock. I want to see.
Do you want this table flipped, bro?
I was going to say Ryan's going to perk up
Do you
here.
want this table flipped?
You
I
don't want
wanna
to see Adam.
see-
I know your whole thing about him not being involved in the Infinity Saga, but let's get past that. And he's still a quality character.
Get over it. Get over it.
No.
I want to see Adam Warlock. I want to see Nova.
Yeah.
I want to see
These
the
nuts.
Groots.
You want to see the Groot world?
I do want to see the Groot world.
Okay.
Golly, I don't. This is going to surprise everyone. I don't want to see a lot of Thor.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to open with Thor, and then he's got his own shit to do. He's
Yeah.
got Thor 4 coming out.
Let me
He's got other
clarify.
stuff.
I want to see a shit ton of Thor. I want to see all the Thor you can give me. I'll take Thor as long as Chris Hemsworth is willing to hold a hammer and call himself Thor. But I also want to see my Guardians.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be, well, I'm sitting here saying this, but I love mashup movies too.
I do, but I
But
feel
Thor
like
is so commanding.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I want to see them on their own.
Yeah. So what do you think 3's gonna be though? Like, because like Star-Lord doing what he did to Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is he's probably gonna try to do anything he can to bring Gamora back.
It's going to be a search for the Gamora that is still alive, although it's very interesting to think, why would she be alive? Why wouldn't she be snapped?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because she's part of Thanos' army.
Yeah.
Why would she not have been snapped? Because Tony doesn't know her. Tony doesn't know her contribution.
Does Tony decide, or does the stone decide?
You decide whatever.
Yeah.
This is one of my problems with Endgame, is you decide. That's why I'm.
But if you say kill all the bad people,
no, you don't. Not like that. Remember when he gives Hulk the list?
Yeah.
When he snaps that first time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I actually watched the movie the second time and heard the list, I was like, okay, I understand it, but still, this whole last sequence didn't need to take place. When Hulk snapped the first time, it could all have been done.
That's true.
it is.
That's
But-
one of my biggest things. About
they
it.
don't- They wanted-
think So here's the challenge there. Before we dive off the deep end,
We can't. Got to say this
Right.
right. I hate Endgame.
So I'm just going to say it right here. Thanos at that point is not a threat. He's in the past. He has no means of coming back. So the only purpose of that is to snap people they lost back. and not change anything else. That's why Hulk snaps his fingers in the first place. They don't even know that Thanos is on his way or that he's even a factor.
Yeah, they
that's
haven't
why,
seen him at this
That's
point.
why, as soon as that's done, Thanos is there. Now they have to deal with him in another way. But there is some slip up with it, but also there's a talking raccoon in the movie, so let's not pick it
But
apart
he's
too much.
genetically engineered. He makes sense, bro. That snap doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, so
Save it for your blog.
Yeah.
I will.
I do think that
It's
that's
common.
interesting to see how they find Gamora. I think that's what we're going to get is a heavy search for Gamora and then a conflict that brings them both together, that we might even see Mr. Star-Lord take a mortal injury or something very serious, I think, that gets her to snap out of it. That's what I think.
You think she's going to be stuck in the Soul Stone?
I don't.
I do.
I don't think she's going to be
that's
stuck
what
in
I'm
the Soul
thinking. She's
Stone.
going to be stuck there.
Because the
And
Soul
he's gonna
Stone
have
is
to-
back where they found it, back on that planet. So
Mhm.
they're going to get her back. They're going to have to trade something else. Like what?
Let's
What are they
throw
gonna
Red
trade
Skull over the side.
He's
throws-
free.
he
Red
throws his
Skull's not there
headset.
anymore. Once the stone is taken, and it's also in another dimension.
But if it's put back,
It's in another
What happens?
timeline. It's in another timeline. The one that they originally found that's in their timeline was destroyed by Thanos. So I don't think she's in the Soul Stone, personally, unless she's in another timeline. In which case, Stephen Strange is going to come back and get her out of there. He's going to be the answer for everything. Trust me.
yeah, I hate that.
But
We'll see.
it leads to a lot of fun as well.
It sure does.
Mark, I liked your Picktober.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I thought you did a fantastic job. Hey,
Wow.
Ryan, I loved your Picktober.
Yep.
Thought
it's
you
pretty
did a
awesome.
fantastic job. Megan, why don't you tell us what your Picktober is for next week?
Should we just let the music play?
Honey? Honey?
Is she haunted?
Tell us about your Picktober. Honey?
She's picking up your children.
Our children. But yes, she
That's
is.
what I meant. You're the one here.
She's doing wonderful things. She's doing the Lord's work out there. And you guys are doing the Lord's work by listening to the Alter Ego podcast. We super appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we have one last Picktober that I'm sure you'll see on the listing of the episode next week. We're so excited to
It's
do it.
Rocket Raccoon.
yeah.
She loves Rocket Raccoon.
Guardians 2!
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. I know what you're asking yourself right now as the music plays and you're like, oh my God, they got to be done. Is where can you find the Alter Ego podcast? How can you interact with us? How can you tell us how much you hate me or you love the cyborg? Whatever. How do you do that? I'll tell you. Alter Ego Podcast 2 at gmail.com. Alter Ego Podcast on Twitter at podcast_ego. Facebook at the Alter Ego Podcast. Instagram at Alter Ego Pod and youtube.com/Alter Ego Podcast. I have been Jack Austin. This has been Cyborg Mark.
I am Groot.
This has been Ryan.
I am Groot.
You're Groot. And this is the play out.
I love this part.
Me too. We talked during the opening. Why don't we talk during the exit? They did that part just for me.